Well, first of all, I want to thank all of you for coming today. This is probably the most historic day maybe in our lives. This is a huge day for the lives of the unborn, for our nation. It's a historic day. I wanted to thank a number of people who made this day happen. First and foremost, I want to thank God. God is sovereign. God is in control of all things. And this could not have happened without the grace and the mercy that the Lord has shown to this country by allowing us to see this come to fruition here today. This is a profound change in the law in our country, and it will save millions of lives of unborn children. Secondly, I want to thank those who around this nation who have prayed for 50 years for this day. Ever since Roe versus Wade was ruled on back in the 70s, there have been people who have prayed for the end of this evil in our country. Today we see that happening. So I want to thank all of those around this nation who have prayed to see this day coming. God has been gracious and merciful. He has heard our prayers, and He has brought to an end this evil in our nation. Thirdly, I want to thank the members of the House of Representatives who had the courage and the vision and the foresight to step up and cast a vote in favor of this law. This is why we're meeting in the House chamber today. This is where this started. This chamber is where the bill that we now know, or the law that we now know as the Dobbs case, started. This very podium where I'm standing is where that bill was presented back in 2018 when it was argued here on the House floor. And there were a lot of members of this chamber who had the courage to step up and cast a vote. They did not grow weary of doing good. And there were a lot of naysayers. There were a lot of people who said, oh, let's don't do another abortion bill. Oh, we're tired of this. We have done enough on this. But the members of this chamber had the courage to step up and say, we are not done. We're going to continue this fight. And today we see the results of that fight, results of that courage of those individuals who sat in this room back in 2018 and decided they would cast a vote in favor of saving lives of the unborn. Fourthly, I want to thank the members of the Senate who also stepped forward and had the courage to cast that vote back in 2018, and then Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves, who allowed that bill to come to the Senate floor for a vote. Next, we want to thank Governor Phil Bryant, a longtime champion of the pro-life movement, who had the courage and the willingness to sign that bill and put it into law. Next, I want to thank Attorney General Lynn Fitch and particularly Scott Stewart, who argued this case before the United States Supreme Court. What a fabulous argument he made in defending this bill and making sure that it survived the scrutiny of the United States Supreme Court. And then next, clearly want to thank the members of the United States Supreme Court. Those 6 individuals who recognized that there is no constitutional right to abortion in this country and who have decided to leave this decision to the states where it should have been all along. We cannot forget or neglect the fact that these people showed courage to pass this decision here today, which has changed the history of our country. So very grateful for all those individuals that I mentioned and the fact that it was a team effort, many people coming together to make this happen. Next, I want to just briefly mention the fact that with this decision comes new opportunities. Our work is not done. We have fought long and hard to save the lives of the unborn. Now there are going to be new challenges that we face. There will be, in this state particularly, we want to make sure that those who are born have the resources that they need. We want to make sure that we step up and help them. So I am forming what I'm calling the Speaker's Commission on the Sanctity of Life, which will be composed of House members and policy experts and medical professionals and adoption agencies and child pregnancy centers and all the players who have long fought for this day and who have a passion for the sanctity of life. We're going to form this commission, and they will be charged with the responsibility of going forward and hopefully presenting legislation for us to consider in the future as we consider what next steps to take. So this commission will be formed, and we'll be making those decisions in the days to come about who will be on that, and they will be charged with the task of deciding what the next steps are for us as a legislature. They will be charged with formulating policy suggestions for us to consider, and hopefully come forward with new policies that will help address the challenges and the opportunities that we now have.